Musk is once again taking on Microsoft, this time with tongue lashings or with a view to toppling the software empire. Is it personal? Is it business? Is this the end of Microsoft? Just last week said Meta stop recruiting. Today broke AI department major adjustment. Meta, this is what? Is it the last straw or ready to borrow a knife to break through? When you buy medicine, not only free, but also get a welfare benefits. This is who came up with a good thing? What is the mindset of pharmaceutical companies? Tonight we'll talk about 3 things. Let's start with a like before we watch. After Friday's rally, the mood of the market has slowed a bit. The S&P 500 ended down 0.43%, the Nasdaq fell 0.22%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.77%. In the sector, telecommunication services were up 0.44%. Energy was up 0.26%. Consumer spending fell 1.62%. Healthcare fell 1.44%. And utilities and industry were down more than 1%. Financials and real estate fell between 0.5% and 0.7%. Friends who enjoy console gaming probably know that it's no easy task for Microsoft to release a game with a good reputation. People will jokingly call Microsoft super hard, and the meaning is also quite straightforward. That is, Microsoft finally got tough again. But that kind of impassioned calling is probably about to stop, because the real challenger to Microsoft is coming. Will Microsoft's share price be threatened? Over the weekend, Musk posted on Platform X, join xAbilai, to help build a pure AI software company. What's it called? It sounds like a mouthful, but this is no joke. It seems that top business is often so plain. Musk added that a company like Microsoft, which doesn't make hardware, should be able to be fully simulated. Musk's words carry a lot of weight. It was not simply a commercial provocation, but a prediction about the shape of technology in the future. So why on earth did Musk think such a vast software empire could be simulated by an AI? Musk's idea is a radical vision of the future of software. He thinks that AI will no longer produce conventional software with fixed features, what we know today as a Word or Edge browser or Photoshop. Each focused on a single area of writing, web browsing, and image editing. Musk wanted to create an extremely flexible software generator. This system can dynamically combine components based on a user's real-time needs and then generate an entirely new application. Just imagine whatever the user requires, it can flexibly piece things together and quickly produce a brand new app. It's built precisely around current needs, without any fuss, directly generating a fresh, practical application. For example, you could ask him to create a multi-purpose workbench that allows you to edit documents, seamlessly browse the web, and call up image processing at any time. In theory, the number of combinations and possibilities is infinite as long as the user wants it. That's where he thinks he can simulate Microsoft. But why did Musk choose to name the company Hardcore? Actually, the conflict between Musk and Microsoft has long been no secret. Everybody knows about it. The whole story goes back to 2018, when Musk was forced out of OpenAI because of a clash of ideas, and the latter turned around and embraced Microsoft. Then came the revelation of Bill Gates' massive shorting of Tesla's stock, which brought the rift between Musk and Microsoft to light. Shortly thereafter, Musk publicly linked Gates to Epstein's name on social media, taking the conflict to the level of a personal attack. For a high-profile entrepreneur such as Musk, these conflicts and the betrayal of OpenAI are unacceptable. Personal vendettas may have played a part. What truly sets Musk apart is his understanding of artificial intelligence and the future form of software. That's the real key. It was this ultimate vision that convinced Musk that the software world of the future would be revolutionized by AI. The press has its own take on this. Yahoo Finance's Babel said Musk's move could revolutionize the software industry because he challenged the traditional model of software development by using AI to simulate a software company. Musk could create more efficient, autonomous, and innovative software solutions. Lloyd and Catherine of Bassani Cedar say the creation of the giant shows Musk's commitment to building an AI and robotic ecosystem, and that he wants to show the market again, Tesla is not just a car company, it's an AI company, and 36Kr Mike Frieden of the European Center says that Megahard is a bold experiment, but that technical and regulatory hurdles are a problem. And investors should not get carried away because software depends on more than just AI's ability to copy code. It depends on whether it can innovate. At the heart of the battle, according to Arch, is not just a personal catharsis, but a battle over the path of how tools will be created in the digital future. Microsoft represents the peak of the software industry in the past 40 years. Modular, functional, ecological, he will software tools professional, standardized. Musk is trying to usher in a new era of AI software. In this era, AI is like the hydroelectric internet, is ubiquitous and can be invoked at any time, which makes software a service product that can be invoked on demand. For Microsoft, it won't matter in the short term, because it will take a long time to perfect the clone technology, and of course to avoid technology rights disputes, which will not be resolved in a short time. But in the long term, once the clone capability of the giant hardware takes shape, it may make Microsoft software less irreplaceable. But these are only long-term theoretical situations. In the short term, I think the impact on the value of both companies' investments will be minimal. In the current arms race level AI wave, even the top tech giants dare not slacken the slightest bit. Mate, a rising star in the big model industry, has long wanted to use open-source big models to corner and overtake. Recently, however, Mate's strategic direction may have changed. Does this mean the company is throwing in the towel? Or is the industry about to change again? Just last Friday, Alexander Wang, Meta's new chief AI officer, made the big announcement via social platform X. The company plans an in-depth technology partnership with Midjourney, a startup in AI image and video generation. Officially, Meta will license Midjourney's AI aesthetic technology with the goal of bringing more aesthetically pleasing videos and photos to billions of people. We made it clear that to ensure that Meta offers the best product, we need to take a holistic approach that includes partnering with the best players in the industry. Aji feels that this move marks an important strategic shift in Meta's development path in the AI field. He is moving from the past model of relying on self-research to a more open one, a willingness to seek outside cooperation. So what prompted the giant, which prides itself on its Lamarckian open-source model? Why make such a big change? The answer is straightforward. The performance of the Meta self-research model seems to have fallen behind the competition. According to industry sources, although Method has previously launched its own image generation tool, Imagine, and plans to fully integrate the video generation model into Instagram, both images and video are still in the pipeline. Neither is as effective as Google's Vivo 3 or OpenAI's Sora. Not only that, but people familiar with the matter say that Mate has even started using third-party models quietly for some internal tasks as the company's faith in the Lamar model has taken a hit. People just aren't as confident in it as they used to be. Clearly, Meta's huge investment and frequent organizational changes didn't immediately translate into a clear lead in the product. This stark contrast between input and output eventually forced Meta to re-examine its concept of self-reliance. That said, the media's response to Meta's shift has been quite positive. The Financial Times interpreted this partnership as a strategic shift, noting that in-house R&D efforts were gradually slowing down at the time. Against such a backdrop, the emergence of this collaboration is especially striking. There's gotta be a bunch of juicy backstories. What new twists and turns are coming up? We'll just have to wait and see. It's sure to be an exciting ride. Meaning Meta is more open to introducing third-party technology and image and video generation capabilities to improve the visual quality of its products and accelerate the deployment of generative AI on social platforms. That's not a bad thing for Meta. Levergy's comments point out that working with Metronin was a smart, product-oriented decision for Meta. He admitted that in certain segments of artificial intelligence, a small but beautiful team with a single focus may have accumulated more skills than a large company with unlimited resources. For Meta, filling gaps fast is way more important than keeping all resources' self-esteem intact. It's all about getting things done quickly. Meta's move away from in-house research and toward collaboration is not unique. Even Apple, with its reputation for being closed and vertically integrated, is facing the same dilemma. According to recent reports, Apple is in talks with Google. Discuss using Google's Gemini model to power the new Siri, which is expected to launch this year. Back in the day, Apple was the first to integrate Siri into the iPhone, and now it's a passive cooperative chaser. But it also shows that no company can cling to the idea of having everything until it has invested heavily and iterates quickly. Both Meta's strategic shift and Apple's potential tie-up with Google mean that the AI race has moved into a more pragmatic phase. Working with the most advanced and mature technologies, he said, can let their products as soon as possible the integration of the most advanced AI technology to provide users with a better experience. This is definitely a good thing for them and consumers. In the longer term, however, Aki sees no reason for Mac and Apple to stop investing in AI. Instead, they will continue to invest in it. Because if they can't develop their own models in depth, in the future, for example, the lack of key technologies will likely limit access. This is clearly not a good thing for Meta and Apple, which have near infinite data resources. Have you ever thought, when you unfortunately need to go to the pharmacy to buy medicine? In addition to do not have to pay, pharmaceutical companies also give you a generous condolence money. Yes, that's what President Trump does for Americans. What on earth did he say that would make pharmaceutical companies not only give away free drugs, but also pour down subsidies, and also make the medical sector dive in an instant? Let's take a look at why this happened. Let's start with the congressional reception on July 10th. Trump pressed the issue of drug prices in the U.S.at the reception, when he vowed to bring them down, saying the reduction was not 30 or 40%, but an unimaginable amount. What is that number? Just yesterday, Trump revealed it. He says he has cut the cost of prescription drugs by as much as 1,500% after just a few days of price cuts by drug makers. The healthcare sector fell as the news became public today. Pfizer, Merck, Johnson & Johnson and other pharmaceutical giants have seen their share prices plunge. What seems to be driving the pharma giants into a dive is not just cost-cutting, which can be as much as 100%, or oh, wouldn't the extra 1,400% be a subsidy to patients? Logically, that is surely impossible, but Trump didn't offer an additional explanation, and no reporter pressed him on it. I don't know how he'll explain it. But it's unlikely that drug companies will actually subsidize patients 1,400%. Looks like the situation is playing out quite favorably for Trump. While the numbers are eye-catching, Trump does have a specific set of policy ideas behind the scenes. In early August, Trump sent letters to 17 of the world's top pharmaceutical companies, including Pfizer, Merck, and Novartis. The letter didn't mention price cuts, but it did list for policy requirements. The core idea was for the companies to offer American patients the most favored nation price, which matches the lowest prices offered in other developed countries. And the letter warned that if the companies did not act, the federal government will use every tool at its disposal to respond. Trump's tough stance is backed up by the fact that drug prices in the United States are much higher than in other developed countries. A Rand Corporation study found that the average price of prescription drugs in the United States is twice as high as in 33 other high-income countries. The gap isn't just small, it's downright staggering. Faced with such expensive drugs, it is not difficult to understand why Trump would lower drug prices as a political slogan to gain public support. So through this combination of political grandstanding and specific policies, Trump has successfully transformed a complex economic issue into a highly inflammatory political issue. It also puts the drug companies under intense pressure from the public and the White House, but getting them to cut prices is far more difficult and complex than that. Forbes' analysis pointed out that the U.S. drug price problem is an extremely complex systemic problem. There's a lot involved here, not just manufacturers and insurance companies, but also drug middlemen, vested interests, and a range of other stakeholders. Any single intervention will be difficult to achieve sustainable results, and may even have unintended negative effects. The provinces are using the shock talk of a 1,500% price cut to put on a successful political show. Not to achieve it, but to maximize attention grabbing and put unprecedented psychological pressure on the pharmaceutical industry. The inner layer is a targeted attack on drug companies under the most favored nation doctrine, making it morally difficult for drug companies to argue that the U.S. as a home market should pay higher prices as a developed country. It makes no sense. So the ultimate aim of this combination is to fundamentally reshape America's drug pricing rules, but Aggie remains pessimistic about the outcome. The interests of the U.S. pharmaceutical industry complex chain of interests. Trump would like to change the status quo by himself is extremely difficult. When this blows over, or the drug companies and the White House come to some sort of agreement, I think there's a good chance we'll be back to square one. Over the weekend, U.S. President Trump announced the government's purchase of nearly 10% of Intel. Under the terms of the core deal, the U.S. government bought about 9.9% of Intel's newly issued common shares at $20.47 a share for a total of $8.9 billion. Notably, Trump made a point of emphasizing that the acquisition did not cost taxpayers money. Instead, it converted unpaid Intel grants and some chip bill security funds into equity. According to media reports, after the dust settled on Intel's deal model, the White House said it would use it as a standard, and that similar equity interventions might be made in other key chip companies in the future. TSMC, the world's largest contract chip maker. News soon broke that the U.S. had no plans to take an equity stake and stressed the company's independence. There were even rumors that ZMC would rather return the subsidies it had received than let the government hold shares. What's really going on here? Is it simply the company's insistence on autonomy, or are there other considerations at play? What do you all think? For now, the furor surrounding Intel in August is over for now. The government's purchase is widely seen as a stabilizing role, providing Intel with a short-term political cushion but not fundamentally changing its technology and customer acquisition challenges. More broadly, it marked a new chapter in the White House's direct entry into key technology areas, which may have just begun. If you think Aji's video is helpful to you, Aji would like to ask you to do me a small favor. If you have time, please help me click on the link below the top of the IB Earnings Securities comment. The broker I use is Capital Economics IB, and right now the risk-free rate they're offering is quite high. The uninvested cash in your investment account earns a maximum interest rate of 4.33%. IB also features low costs and zero commissions per share. Compared with other brokerages, IB's options are also very cheap to trade. In addition, IB's foreign exchange function is economical and affordable. IB offers the best exchange rate on the market with a negligible fee. If you are a deep trader, IB trading platform function is also very powerful. Especially the option function, full-featured and easy to use. In addition, they offer free research reports, trading tools, and up-to-date news updates. All of these features allow investors to get more comprehensive help when trading. Let me put it this way: IB is cheap and easy to use, basically the Costco of brokerages, a truly reliable and value-for-money firm. If you don't know IB yet, I highly recommend clicking on the comment link at the top for more details. Your clicking will help me increase my income and be my biggest support for keeping my show up to date. So that's it for today. If you think I'm doing a good job, don't forget to like it. Constantly churning out content ain't easy. Cowboy here really needs your support. Thanks a bunch.